Hey everyone, Mike Hoover here, owner of Mavi Unlimited Property Management, and I'm doing a late June update or recap of the 2024 legislative session. The session officially ended in mid-May, but Governor Polis has been signing some of these approved bills into law over the last few weeks and last month. So I wanted to take a minute just to give you a rundown on three of the ones that I feel are most impactful for our microcosm of this rental property market, and then down below there's a much broader summary of all the laws that were passed, put together by our friends at Cheddar Sulzer. Those are the folks that handle our evictions and any of our other real estate attorney needs. So check out that link for a full comprehensive list and opinions on all the laws that were passed. But for me, I'm going to go over the three that I feel are the most impactful. And so to kick things off, the first one we've got is the new Just Cause eviction law. This pertains to how you can give notice to tenants that you don't want to renew their lease. In the past, you could give notice to a tenant basically for any reason you wanted. I don't really like you living in this property for X, Y, and Z. You're detrimental to the community as a whole. Maybe you're too vocal about maintenance needs, and it's obvious that you'd be happier in a 2024 new construction build rather than this 1950s condo where you feel like everything is broken and needing to be updated all the time. So in the past, we could just simply give the tenant notice of non-renewal and call it a day. That has changed, and we now need to provide our tenants with a valid reason for not renewing their lease, and that reason is limited to basically four different categories. Number one, if you do want to sell the home or move back in as a property owner, that is certainly allowed. Number two, if the tenant is not paying rent, then that allows you to give notice to vacate as well. You can go through a normal eviction process for financial issues at any time. Number three are lease violations, and really we think what the courts are looking for are repeat lease violations. We've got ample evidence that we've told you, 1, 2, 3, 4 times to take care of the lawn or bring in the trash or whatever the case may be, but there are substantial lease violations that you're not adhering to, and now we're allowed to ask you just to not renew the lease because we think we could do better with a different resident. And finally, large-scale construction problems or a need to revamp the property in some way, shape, or form. This is probably the biggest gray area. We feel that telling a tenant they need to move out because we want to remodel in the hopes of getting higher rent is still a valid reason, but we'll see what a judge might say about that in the future on some future case. The other big thing here is, besides the need to provide a valid reason, we now need to give a resident 90 days notice at a minimum. So 3 months minimum notice of our intent to not renew their lease. For us, this means that you'll probably see us reaching out to you farther in advance than we normally would about upcoming lease expirations. For you, as our clients, we would appreciate it if you would let us know your intentions as quickly as you can, because we obviously have a much longer time frame than we're used to, needing to provide tenants with a minimum of 90 days notice on why we're not going to renew their lease. The next law that I'm going to go over here is the local government's right of first refusal. This is probably the one that I am the least excited about. I think it's got a real chance of hampering people's desire to invest in a residential property in the future as an investment. But basically what it's saying is if you own small multifamily, and they're calling this 5 units or more, you need to give your local municipality, city, town, whatever, a chance to buy the property at fair market value. But before you can sell it on the open market to someone else, you need to stop what you're doing and give the local city a chance to say, hey, yeah, we do want to buy this. We think we can turn this into permanently affordable, cheaper housing. The spirit of the law is fine with me. I think that we know that Denver has an affordability issue. Rents have been going up for years, even though they're a little flatter right now. This is still a city with huge affordability problems. But the way in which they're doing it, where they're basically saying you can sell with caveats, I don't love that spirit of the law, where you now need to give the local government a chance to buy the property before you're free to do with it as you see fit. If you think it's a bad investment for you and you just want to cash out, or it's been a great investment and you'd like to reap the fruits of your labor, you now need to make sure that the local municipality is okay with that first. They are putting a fairly tight time frame on this. The city doesn't have a lot of time to yank you around, but it is still going to slow down the sales process for anybody that is looking to offload a multifamily. If you have 5 units or more and any of those units receive government assistance in any form, our attorneys at this point have said that could be traditional Section 8, but it could also be one of those one-time ERAP payments that we saw during COVID. You now are likely going to have to ask the local municipality if they want to buy the property. If there hasn't been any government assistance on the property, then the threshold is 15 or more. But still, these are not large hedge fund-owned apartment buildings. These are definitely small mom-and-pop investments. And now the local government says, we need to decide if this is something that we want to pursue, and we're going to make you put your plans on hold while we do our due diligence on this. So that is the local government's right of first refusal that is now officially law. Last one is the safe housing for residential tenants. This is basically an extension of the long existing warranty of habitability. Warranty of habitability, for those of you that aren't familiar, basically just says you can't be a bad actor landlord. If something's broken, if it's a legitimate fix, if it's a health and safety concern, you have to make that repair in a timely manner. If you don't, the tenant cannot be forced to live in the property. You have to let them out either lease or give them some other remedy for relief. This is just putting some additional teeth on that, adding some provisions that include now air conditioning in the summertime as a livable or non-livable circumstance. In the past, we would have said, hey, your AC's out, it's Friday evening, I'm sorry, but we're not going to pay an HVAC company $250 an hour, time and a half, to go diagnose this on a weekend. We're going to make you wait till Monday. We now cannot do that. We have to treat no AC in the summer the same as we would no heat in the winter, or no running water, or no electricity. It's imperative that we get it fixed as soon as possible. It's also imperative now that we let the tenants know, hey, here are your rights when it comes to living in this property that is, quote, not livable for this time period. The other thing that it does is it mandates providing housing to residents when it's needed. So if the house is unlivable or if the property is unlivable, we now need to provide the tenant with suitable living that is a like-for-like comparison regarding bed count. So if it's a 4-bedroom house, let's just assume 4 beds, maybe 5 beds if there's a bunk bed situation in there. We now need to go to that resident and say, hey, within a 5-mile radius, we've located this hotel or this extended stay hotel that also has 4 or 5 beds that the owner will pay for while we make this fix. We can still try to work around that to some degree by offering the tenant a daily per diem if they have other living arrangements that they can make on their own, but that per diem can no longer just be a rent credit that we put in their ledger the following month. It now has to be paid in advance. And there's some other disclosure that we have to provide to the residents, basically saying if you want out of your lease, you're allowed to be out of your lease. So that is the new safe housing for residential renter law. Again, just kind of putting more teeth on the already existing warranty of habitability, but we now need to take care of anything that is a health and safety issue in a much quicker time frame, and there's possible large financial repercussions for the property owner when it comes to paying for hotel stays or giving rent credits in advance when we think something is going to take a while to fix. I hope you found this helpful and informative. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up, email, phone, my cell's below. Again, I'm going to put links to the signed laws for these 3 ones that I went over right below my text, and then there's that more comprehensive list of all the laws that were approved in this 2024 session down below from our friends at Cheddar Sulzer. Hope everybody had a great June. Happy 4th of July to everybody, and we will talk soon. Thanks.